Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here is a gist of the last 5 episodes of Exploring Happiness. When we started this series, we thought that we are done with COVID. But in the last 15 days, COVID has hit back us. So it becomes even more important to understand and explore happiness. So the gist is that happiness is not something which you can buy or you can sell. You cannot get it from somebody, you cannot give it to somebody. It's not a commodity. Happiness is more of an inside out process. Happiness is therefore to be understood what is happening inside us. So we understood that what is happening inside us is that we are not an individual single person. We are a bundle of people. The multiple roles that we play in our life on a day-to-day basis, each role acts as an individual and they are not bound together. So they act as a crowd. A crowd is very noisy. In a crowd, the people are not concerned about each other. They are only bothered about their own self-interest and their own purpose. And the crowd can become destructive at the fall of a hat. And that is what we are holding inside. Just think about it. Whenever we have any lot of uh, anxiety, a lot of thoughts are going on, we are disturbed about certain things, the crowd is at play. There's a multiple role that we want to work on and we want to fulfill their desires and we are not able to make it happen, then we get into a sort of inner noise. And that's not very constructive. It's very destructive. So if we understand that each one of these crowd member wants to fulfill its own desire, and once that desire is fulfilled, one becomes happy or thinks to be so. And when this is not happening, then one becomes unhappy. So let's understand that how do we translate this crowd into a team? Because what will happen is that in a team, you have a captain. The captain decides the whole team's common goal. But to achieve that goal, the captain actually works on individual member of the crowd, member of the team, and extracts the best out of each one of them, which adds up to have the common goal, which could be probably the happiness. So we learned that this crowd uses the common resources, and our common resources are our body, our mind, our time, and a lot of material possessions that we may have. And if you have to tame them down, if you have to let them work under a powerful captain, then these resources will be allocated as per the requirement and as per the allocations by the captain. Then we understood that the happiness is dependent on four of maybe five parameters. Number one is our self-esteem. Each of the crowd member will have its own different level of self-esteem. If you increase the self-esteem to the higher levels, then we are bound to feel happy. If I'm not happy with myself, how can I be happy with anybody else? So that myself is that individual crowd member, and each of that member we must feel happy about. And that will happen as we build up that positive attitude. The second one is your competence level, which again supports the self-esteem. That each of the crowd member must be competent in its pursuit. If it is not competent, then how much ever you are trying, you will not achieve the success and therefore you will not be happy about it. So the competence level has to be learned regularly and it will be a lifelong process because we keep changing our roles, we keep changing our desires for every role. Third thing is the connectivity with the people, our relationships. More and more relationships that we build, more comfortable we will feel even in adverse situations. And that is how the happiness is retained even in adverse situations. And then finally, if these three things, the self-esteem is very good, your competence is very, very good, and you are related to everybody in a very positive way, people who are concerned about it, then automatically the fourth one, which is your autonomous status, will start growing. Technically, nobody is autonomous in this world. We are all answerable to each other. But these three things, making it very, very strong, can give you that autonomous situation. Say, for example, you are a working person and you have to be assigned some task. Now, if your self-esteem is very good, then you have no issue in talking to anybody, including even Prime Minister. Two, if you're competent enough in your work, then you don't have to worry about your doubting your ability to do that job. And third thing is that when you are having a relationships, great relationship with the people concerned about getting your work done, then you are technically autonomous. Nobody's going to push down on you, on your throat, anything. They'll simply say, your bosses or seniors will say simply, I know you can do it, and you'll do it. So the autonomy is the highest level of happiness. And that can be done when you achieve these first three. That is what we learned. And now we thought that in the next part of the series, we will now start touching the reality of our life. We all belong to various organizations, various um, identity groups. And so we'll try and understand how do we create happiness, what may create happiness there. And so in the episode number 6 here, we are going to talk about the schools, the teacher's role, how in a classroom a teacher can create happiness for students. And if that is taken home, then the families can start experiencing happiness. So don't miss out this session, especially if you are a teacher or a school related person, and also if you are a parent. So see you in the live seminar, or rather live webinar, this Sunday.